We want to welcome you again to the Wednesday night Bible study for the Stonecrest Church of Christ. It is a plum-picking pleasure that is presented to us each Wednesday evening to be able to come into your homes, your studios, your condos, your places of abode, your workplace, some even as you are driving with the Word of God. Thank you for giving us that privilege to be able to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, I'm hopeful tonight that we're going to be able to finish this eighth plague that we've been on now for a couple of months. I want to talk to you tonight in a summarized fashion. I want to label our topic tonight for Bible study, bugs with a theological serial number. We've been talking about plague number 8, where God allows locusts, grasshoppers, bugs to come and finish off what the hail did not finish. In this eighth plague, I'm going to read it to you in just a second. God is going to have Moses stretch his rod out. A wind is going to come in from the east. And listen to me. Trillions of locusts are going to come, and every green plant, tree that remains in Egypt after the hail is going to be eaten up. Now, friends, think that one through. If every green tree and plant and crop and grain is going to be eaten up, all of this, no tomorrow, no future. I'm recording this on January the 14th on a Wednesday. No Thursday, no Friday, no weekend. You will have absolutely nothing to eat in the days to come. Now, if you look at my topic, let me explain to you the significance of the subject matter. I'm not trying to be cute or fanciful. I'm really being biblical when I suggest to you that each one of these bugs had a serial number on their back. Well, listen, I'm excited to be able to share. So let me read the text, and then we'll explain the text, apply the text, and then I'm going to sum it all up by giving you some bug takeaways. But let's look first of all at this notion of bugs with a theological serial number on their backs. Now, please watch my graphic, and you see the serial number, and I'll explain that in just a second. I want to commence the reading at verse 19, and then I want to go back to verse 13 and read up to verse number 19 and 20 all over again. Exodus 10, verse 19. Listen to the reading of the word. And the Lord turned the wind into a very strong west wind. Oh my goodness. When God told Moses to stretch out the rod, stretch out his hand, God is going to bring the bugs in on an east wind. We explained the significance of the wind coming from the east on last week. They will come in on an east wind, but God is going to take them out on a west wind. The reading says, and the Lord turned the wind into a very strong west wind, which lifted the locusts and drove them into the Red Sea. And we explained the graveyard for Pharaoh and the bugs on last week. But I want you to watch this. Here's the preaching point tonight. Please see it. Not a single locust was left in all the country of Egypt. Right through here, the late brother Fred Ford would say, what? Look at the reading. Not one, not a single locust was left in all the country of Egypt. Not one bug that God brought from the east wind. Every bug, every grasshopper, every locust that God brought in from the east wind, he carried out on the west wind. Can you imagine that? You didn't have any broken wing locusts. You didn't have any broken foot locusts. They all flew in and they all flew out. Listen, every last one of them, the text says, not a single locust was left in all the country of Egypt. What a mighty God we serve. What an awesome God we serve. God brought them in, and God took every last one of them out. Remember when we were in school and we were taking a trip on the bus, elementary school? We go to some park, we go to some other school, or some band event, some cheerleader event, some pep squad event. And watch this. The teacher when the bus got ready to go, before the bus left, teacher just didn't do an eye count. She didn't assume that all of the students were there. You know what she did? Yeah, you're right. She called the roll. You remember those days in school when the teacher called a roll? You answered this way: present. If you didn't say present, he'd oftentimes call your name again. You may have played too much and gone to sleep. Didn't hear your name being called. Talking, being distracted, didn't hear your name being called. She called it again. Sometimes she called it 3 times. And you would answer, you would respond, present. Let me tell you what God did. When God brought the west wind, glory, God said, are all accounted for? Are we all here? Every bug I brought in, God said, if you will, uh, raise up your hand. All those bugs, raise up that, did I say hands? Raise up their wings. And God said, fly that way. And not one of you stay here in Egypt. And besides, why would you want to stay in Egypt? Ain't nothing else to eat. Well, shit, you've eaten up everything. So go and get your drink of water. It's gonna be your last drink, but go and get your drink of water. And he sent them all to the Red Sea. Now I want you to watch this. That's verse 19. Let me go back and read up until verse 19 and watch how much sense this makes. So Moses stretched out his staff over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind. These bugs just didn't fly in. The Lord brought them in on an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. When it was morning, the east wind had brought the locusts. Remember, east wind gonna bring them in, the west wind is gonna take them out. The locusts came up. Oh, you need to see. Oh, my goodness. The locusts came up over all the land of Egypt, settled on the whole country of Egypt. Such a dense swarm of locusts as has never been before, nor ever will be again. Watch what they do. They covered the face of the whole land. Ooh, watch this. So that the land was darkened. And they ate all the plants in the land and all the fruit of the trees that the hail had left. Not a green thing remained, neither tree nor plant of the field through all of the land of Egypt. Watch the response of Pharaoh. When he saw that these bugs eating up everything that the hail didn't take out, Pharaoh hastily called Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Watch this. Deja vu. Here we go again. This is not the first time he said this. He has said this 7 times previously, changed his mind. So he would go again. Verse 17. Now, therefore, he said, forgive my sin. He said it, but he didn't mean it. Please, he says, only this once. You're lying through both of your teeth. And plead with the Lord your God only to remove this death from me. So he went out from Pharaoh and pleaded with the Lord. Isn't it amazing? The Lord answered his prayer. Again, the Lord answered Pharaoh's prayer. The Lord answered this sinner's prayer. The Lord answered this unbeliever's prayer. And then verse 19. And the Lord turned the wind into a very strong west wind, which lifted the locusts and drove them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust was left in all of the country of Egypt. Now, be mindful again. This plague affected Egypt. It did not affect the children of Israel in the land of Goshen. Now, what do I mean when I say that we have here bugs with a theological serial number. Let me explain the significance of the topic. Follow me carefully. I'm going to be a little nerdy here, but I'm going to be nerdy for a reason. The text says, not one locust was left in the land of Egypt. Now you can say, well, that's hyperbole. Okay, you can call it hyperbole. All right. If that's what you want to do, hey, cool at the game. I'm just a little more committed to the inspiration and the authority of scriptures than that. Right. Now, think with me. Think through this. If you apply modern swarm densities to modern Egypt, which is about the size of the state of Texas. The country of Egypt is about the size of my home state of Texas. Texas, second largest state land-wise in all the United States. Texas is 1,000 miles across from El Paso in the west to Texarkana in the east, or maybe even Marshall, where I went to college. I want you to watch this. If you apply modern swarm densities to modern Egypt, which is about the size of Texas. You listen, you're reading it on the screen. Let it stay up there because I need for folk to see this. I need for people to conceptualize what I'm about to say. So leave the next two graphics on the screen until I say differently. Now, I want you to watch this. You are talking 50 to 80 trillion locusts to cover that area of land space. Did you hear what I just said? 50 to 80 trillion bugs. We have an exterminator that comes to our building once a month. And he sprays, he exterminates for roaches, for bugs, for insects. I've never seen, once he finished, more than 10 to 15 bugs. Watch this. Over a 45,000 square feet building. That's my size of my building. I've never seen 15. I've never seen 15 bugs. Can you imagine 80 trillion? The Texas, it was so many, it darkened the sky. Now, folks, 1,000 square miles, the sky is darkened. Bugs in the house, bugs outside the house. I mean, the land. You can't see the ground. I want you to watch this. Each one of those bugs are both identifiable and traceable. Come in, come in. That's why I suggest to you that each one of them had a serial number on their back. Doc Barclay, you've been a little hyperbolic. You've been a little fanciful. You've been a little imaginative. Well, why would God say not one was left? Because God could trace them. If God said not one was left, how would he know that? I mean, book number 6, 7 trillion, 903 billion, 204,666. Where are you? Get in the sky. Now, you may find it hard to believe, but Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew that not one sparrow falls from the sky without God knowing about it. Huh? Do you know how many sparrows and birds there are in the world? And Jesus says, not one of them falls from the sky without God knowing it. Oh, my goodness. God is the only one who shows up for the funeral service of a sparrow, which is a worthless bird. Notice, this ain't an eagle. This is not a robin. This is a sparrow. You may deem it worthless, but God said, he's one of my creation. He's one of my creatures. In fact, Jesus, in the same context, goes on to say, that he has numbered the hairs on your head. right before I started recording, I went in the bathroom and just kind of fixed up my mustache and brushed my teeth and then comb and then brushed my hair. And I looked at the comb. And when I looked at the comb, I saw some hair in the comb. I looked at the brush and I saw some hair follicles in the brush, which means I lost some hair. And God said, oh, we got to change the count. Now, I know you're sitting there saying, now, Dr. Barkley, you not both know it doesn't work that way. You got little holes up there, and the suckers in your head, and that kind of thing. Well, okay. All right. All right. God has taken the time to count the little sockets that your hair sits in on your head. God is so observant. God is so meticulous. God is so fastidious. You need to hear what I am about to say to you. If God shows up the funeral service of a worthless bird, if God kept count of every locust that flew in and out of Egypt, don't you think that God is concerned about you? Don't you know that you mean more to God than a sparrow? Don't you know that you mean more to God than a bug? You are valuable to God. And God is observant and watchful over your life. So we ask the question, how did God keep count that many locusts? So that he could know that not one was left behind. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Watch this. Watch this. Watch what I have on the slide. God doesn't need to count what he commands. Oh, Dr. B, rerun that. Leave it on the screen. God doesn't need to count what he commands. God doesn't need to keep track of his commands. He can recall what he sends. Listen, I doesn't have a calculator of that counting bugs. He doesn't do that. He knows where they are. And all he has to do, speak a word. All he has to do is call creatures from his creation that hears his voice and responds obediently to his voice. That's all he has to do. And if he needs 50 trillion, if he needs 80 trillion in order to darken the sky, God just says, watch this, let it be. And the next verse is going to say, as it did in the book of Genesis, and it was so. Well, I'm going to finish this tonight, so let me run. All right, so the Lord brought an east wind. So the wind is God's delivery system. East wind brings them in, west wind escorts them out. God doesn't count locusts, he commands locusts. And if he can remove every locust down to the last one, leave that on the screen. If he can remove every locust down to the last one, he can remove anything he permits in your life. Woo, preacher. If you just stop negotiating with God and start trusting and yielding to God, he can remove every stronghold, every bondage, every sin, every piece of pride, every piece of fear in your life. But you're going to have to stop negotiating and start yielding to God. So when I say these bugs had a theological serial number, maybe I should just explain what a serial number is. A serial number means something, this is about to preach, something that can be traced back to its source. These locals had a theological serial number. Watch this. They were sent, they were directed, they were limited, and they were removed by God Himself. Now, watch this. A theological serial number means that the event can be traced directly to God's purpose, God's authority, and God's timing. Watch this. The east wind didn't come. The text says, verse 13, He brought the east wind and He brought the west wind. It didn't just happen. He purposed it. He authorized it. And it came on His timing. Now, in everyday life, as you see the screen, we all know what serial numbers are. We have them on our currency. We have them on our equipment. We have them on government documents. We have them on our firearms. Just a few weeks ago, for one of my Christmas gifts that my son gave me was a pen seeker. When I get ready, out on the golf course, and the flag is 2 or 3, 400 yards down the fairway, and I get close, and I want to see how far the pin is, so I can choose the right club in order to make the play. This little device helps me. In addition to it being seeking the pin on the green, it kind of outlines the hole for me. It'll tell me the layout of the hole. It'll tell me where all of the hazards are, the water, the sand trap, the trees, the rough. This gives me this information. Well, why are you telling us this? Because on the bottom of this piece of golf equipment are some numbers. Those numbers are serial numbers, which means that over in India or China, this device was manufactured. When I got the device, one of the first things I did was to go to the website and register this device. Well, by registering the device, I said to the manufacturer that I got the device, I paid for the device. If for some reason this device does not function, then I will send it back, because I have not only paid for it, I have registered it. If I'm out on the golf course and I inadvertently lose it, or somebody in it, if somebody takes it, and there is a dispute about it, it's registered. I got the serial number. I don't have to say, hey man, that looks like mine. Well, they made more than one. So I would go up to the individual and listen. All of us who play golf, have had to do this. You lose a golf club. You lose one of these out there, and somebody finds it and don't always turn it back in. Well, in addition to that, I got one of these little Apple devices where if I lose this, then I have an app on my phone where it will tell me its location. If it's in your house, I'm going to show up with the popo. I'm going to show up with the police and say, listen, My device is in your house. Now you can argue all you want to, but I got an app on my phone. I got a little device where I can find this device. Well, now, if man can do that, somebody better help me push this thing up in here tonight. If man can do that, don't you know God can do the same thing? He knows what the bugs are. And so that's what I mean when I say a serial number. Because a serial number, as you see on the screen, serves to indicate the following. Number one, the item has been manufactured intentionally, not accidentally. Number two, it can be traced back to its source. It'll tell you where it was made. But we can trace it back to its source. The serial number also establishes ownership upon registration. And it maintains documentation, and it serves a defined purpose. And I love this one. It is subject to accountability. Each one of those bugs were accountable unto God Almighty. Now, watch this. The plague is not random. It carries divine authorship, intent, accountability, and traceability. Now, I want you to watch this. I want to spend the last couple of minutes just kind of summarizing all that I said over the last 2 months. I want to give you some bug takeaways. I want you to remember the story. Exodus 10, 1 through 20. I want you to remember the story, everything we said about the story. From starting out with the grasshoppers gone gangster. All right. Let me give you the takeaways. The 8th plague. Number 1, locusts eat hope. These bugs ate Egypt's future. Second takeaway. Don't let God judge your tomorrow today because of your stubborn pride. Remember early in the story, his counselors, Pharaoh's advisors told him, man, listen, we're ruined. We're destroyed. Why don't you just let the people go? Why you keep being hard-headed and hard-hearted? We got all this disease. Our cattle have died. Our crops have died. Our rivers have run red. You got flies everywhere. You got disease everywhere. Now you got bugs everywhere. Enough is enough. Let the people go. Don't let God judge your tomorrow today because of your stubborn pride. Number 3, when God warns and people refuse, mercy doesn't disappear. It moves forward in time. Oh, I sure wish I had another week. Number 4, if your God can't protect your groceries, your grain, or your future, your God is lying to you. When obedience is delayed long enough, God stops warning the present and starts judging the future. 6. Delayed obedience doesn't stop judgment. It just pushes it into tomorrow. Number 7. Never underestimate what God can do with what you thought was too small to matter. I told you that these grasshoppers start as eggs underneath the ground. Number 8. Small things ignored while they are underground can become sky-filling lessons for the next generation. What pride refuses to surrender, judgment will finish off, starting with your future. Number 10. If Pharaoh won't bow to God's word, he'll bow God's creation. Number 11. When counsel is ignored long enough, consequences stop negotiating. Number 12. Some people don't want God to lead their life, just to lead their life. I hope you got that. Number 13. Sin always over promises and then over consumes. Pharaoh tried to negotiate with God, but compromise with God, oh my goodness, always costs more than surrender. I'm 14. Just like those bugs swarm over Egypt, the plague teaches us that sin has a swarming nature. I don't understand, Brother B. Okay, watch this. Sin will take you farther than you plan to go. Sin will keep you longer than you plan to stay. And sin will cost you more than you plan to pay. Finally, don't let bugs eat your tomorrow. And I'll leave you with this last slide. Pharaoh thought he could manage God like a thermostat, turn him down when it gets hot. God isn't central air. He's Lord. My word to you tonight in the form of a question is he Lord of your life? Or are you just trying to treat him like a thermostat? Turn him up, turn him down. He's not Central Air. He's Lord God Almighty. And until next Wednesday night, may the Lord of the harvest bless you. And may he bless you real good.